up, everybody? OldSchoolNYCGamer here once again with another video. And today, everybody, I'm going to be showing you a really cool app that I came across and honestly should have gotten way sooner than I did. So basically, a couple of years ago when I moved out here to Brooklyn, I had quite a few games. And at last check, I had over 1,800 easily. So within the game room I have now, it's a lot smaller. I had to get rid of quite a few games, but I didn't get rid of my entire collection. But still, it's a pretty decently sized collection for what I have. Now, I was using different apps like NES Collector, N64 Collector, which is good, per se, if you want to track, certain stuff that you have. But this app here that I'm about to show you, that I have here on my iPod, pretty much, holds every single game I have for every system that I own, which I will get to in a minute. So, without further ado, let me show you what that one is. Okay, everybody, so without further ado, let me just show you the app I am talking about here. And what you see right over here is CLZ Games. Now, this specific company actually has a bunch of other collector apps for music, for books, comic books, and a couple of others I can't remember off the top of my head, but you can find CLZ in the App Store. You just got to type that up, and that'll come up in the App Store. But this is also for Android as well, for all you Android users. It's not just for the iOS devices. So, without further ado, let me just show you what I'm talking about here. I'm just going to start the app up. And of course, you see here, it's loading my database. And as you can see here, people, I got quite a few games. And I mean, quite a few. But the cool thing, what I like about this app is you could go into specific ways. You could look at your games here. Got your games hardware, the release year, gen year. It all just depends on how you want to organize it. But, so we'll just go to platform. And you can see, if you can see clearly right there, all the games that I have here for my Atari 400, Atari 2600, 5200, so on and so forth. Game Boy Advance, Game Boy, Genesis, NES, PlayStation 2, PlayStation, I mean, so on and so forth. It could go on and on. So I'll just get back over to the, go back to the home screen here, just to show you exactly, at last count, I have easily over 1,582 games, and that's a hell of a lot. But the reason why, like I said, I like this specific app itself is because when you want to add your game, you could either do it manually or by the title. So, for example, if I wanted to look for Ridge Racer, and of course, like I said, over here, you could also go by specific searches. When you go to all platforms, you could pick the specific, console that you have it, for. So when we go to Ridge Racer, this will pop up. And of course, you can see this there for the PSP, PlayStation, Vita, PlayStation 2, 360. And like I said before, the reason why I like this app specifically, ladies and gentlemen, is because this covers pretty much every console and handheld that you could possibly imagine. Like I said before, if you want to go to all platforms, it covers pretty much all the new generation stuff, and even certain games for iPad or your iPhone. And of course, last generation with PS2, Xbox, and then PlayStation, Nintendo 64, Saturn. Then you got the Nintendo 64 DD, Action Max. I mean, wow, Amiga, Amstrad CPC. We'll go to a couple of ones here. Game Gear, the Game Wave, the Gamecom. Gizmondo, let's see what else we could find here. I mean, even Leapfrog stuff, which I'm kind of surprised, except for Linux, MS-DOS, Engage. I mean, it goes on and on here, people. Socrates, if you guys remember that system, the SG-1000, TurboGrafx 16 CD, Vectrex, and like I said, people, you could even add, like I said, if there's not a specific console in here, you could add all this stuff manually, you could edit stuff, and of course, if you wanted to add your game, like I said, per se, I'll show you once again here, if you wanted to add a game manually, give that a second. Of course, if you have an iTouch or an iPhone with the camera feature, you can either choose from the camera roll, or you can take a picture of the screenshot or of your game, and you can just add all your information here. And I mean, yeah, you can't beat this app. Honestly, people, the only one small grief that I have with it is that it's actually $14.99. But if you are a serious collector, I do recommend getting this. It could be a few dollars cheaper, but like I said, for $15, I didn't argue with it for the fact that, you know, I could do what I got to do with it. But if you want to look for specific games, you know, in the database, you definitely have to have a connection either through your phone service or your Wi-Fi. That's the only other problem I have with it. But overall, it's not a bad app. I do recommend getting it. If you want more information, I will definitely leave all that stuff down there at the bottom. And thank you very much, everybody. If you have any questions or comments, once again, feel free to leave them down at the bottom. And that's about it. Thank you very much. Have a good night, everybody. And don't forget to check me out on Facebook and Twitter. And that's about it. Take care. Cheers.